Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Hey everyone, and welcome to Late Night with Cap. This is JT, your host, aka Cap. It is Wednesday night, and I'm excited to go ahead and get started with this show. We've got an interesting topic that we're going to go over tonight. But the quick announcement: yes, starting in March, the live show setup will go a little differently. I'll start having multiple guests on, and we'll talk about the mysterious things out there, more mystery stuff, more unknown. And that's kind of where the channel's going after a few and for this year. So I'm excited to do that. And I'm already coming up with some really cool topics to talk about. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, you can also check out my mystery shorts out there. If you want a quick 1 minute little history mystery type of thing, you can definitely check out those shorts, and those are fun. The other thing too is starting in March, over on After the Weekend, we are going to do our movie reviews will be cop movies. So I think we're starting with Police Academy. So that's a fun movie. Can't wait to get started on that. But I'm excited to introduce my guest. And tonight we're going to talk about rock apes, bad graphic design, and some other fun stuff. So he is really cool. He has come to me a few times for logos. If you don't know, I also do that as a side gig. But he's fun. He has a Tuesday night show that he stays up late to do, and he's running on very, very little sleep. So let's go ahead and bring on Dermy Wermy. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Drank some coffee, did what I needed to do. Maybe some
Okay.
little bit of sugar. Got the energy. Let's do this.
All right. So you know what? Whenever someone comes on the show and they're like, "Man, I'm kind of tired," I give them this.
I feel like I needed those 3D glasses for that.
Yeah, and it just wakes you up, right?
Yes.
So again, I'm glad to have you on. I'm excited tonight, and it looks like you got some cool stuff in the back there. You got some
Yeah.
plushies. That's really neat.
I got the F&T crew.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I think that's hilarious that they got their own plushies. When are you going to get your own plushie?
You know what? When the channel grows more, and I could guarantee that I could probably fund it, because I remember like Jeremy and Ryan had troubles funding theirs. I will get a Dermy Wermy plushie. Honestly, part of me, because I don't just do a Tuesday show, I do a Friday show. That's like my flagship show.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
kind of want that crew to get their own plushies. My ball busters guys to
Okay,
have their own
all
ball
right.
busting plushies. So
That'd be fun. And in case anyone's listening or watching that doesn't know about that show, what do you cover on your Friday night and Tuesday night streams?
So Tuesday night is more pop culture news. We vary from, what's going on in Hollywood, video games, something more akin to what you would see on like Tuesday night's main event, mixed in with like their daily show, stuff like that, where we try to keep it more news centric. Whereas my Friday show is more chaotic, more chill, cultural based. We have all sorts of random discussions, things of that, as we steadily get drunker and drunker, and I torture myself for super chats.
I've heard the rumors. I've heard some things that you've gotten a little nuts for some super. What's the craziest thing you've done in your mind for a super chat?
So there's two things. One is I wrote Maz's name on my chest using my nipple as the O. But I think the craziest would have to be last week. I did a big, like, I've been trying to raise up as much funds for Vegas as possible.
Mhm.
And last week was both the 1-year anniversary of the stream itself and, that final push that well, what was gotta be the final push? This final push to, "Hey, let's do this." So I had, 5 different levels of very hot nuts. I eat all sorts of hot foods on there for torture, apparently. And I made it all the way to the 5th level at $500, and somebody said, "How much to get you to do a one-chip challenge as well throughout this?" And I said $1,000. That was not fun.
Oh,
That
you
was
did
very
it.
painful. Oh, yeah, I got the $1,000. I did the one-chip challenge. That was not fun, and I ended up throwing up on
I've
stream.
heard about those. Like I had one on my shelf the other well, like my old house. I had one on my shelf, and I just kept staring at it. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do that. I really don't know if I want to torture myself through the heat. So, like, you said you threw up after eating this.
Yeah, so I've done this is technically like my 4th one-chip challenge. There's the official ones through Pocky, which come out once a year. I've done 2 of those. First one I failed, second one I championed. Then these off-brand ones, I did one of those a few weeks ago and I championed, but the thing with this one was these nuts that I had were steadily getting hotter and hotter throughout the heat. And I was promoting it by just reading the level 5, which is called the Death Nut. 3 times Carolina Reaper powder, 2 times Morgoa Scorpion, a blast of wicked hot 7-pot Primo pepper, a sprinkle of pure all natural 16 million Scoville capsaicin crystals, all on 5. And my goal was I would eat 4 of these nuts because I still have a bunch of them here. And I had to survive 3 minutes without choking down water. Each one I succeeded, then I immediately went running for something to put the heat out. So you have a bunch of water, a bunch of dairy, all this stuff sitting in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
stomach.
yeah.
Maybe a few or 1, 2, maybe 5 shots also in your stomach as well. So you sit there and you go like, okay, I'm dying as it is. I have all this stuff in my stomach. And I finally crack that $1,000 mark and it's like, I have to do it. So I take one bite of that chip and it's super freaking dusty and it all
Oh,
came up all at once. So it was a thing. It was a nightmare, and by the end of it, I wanted to just jump off a cliff.
yeah. I bet you the next day you were really hurting too.
Yeah, for a while I was hurting. I ended up going on my buddy Devil Made Me Do Its show right after that called Beelzebub, which usually starts up right when my show ends. And I can vividly remember being on that show. We had Epic Mike on, and uh, I looked at the camera. I was pale. I looked do this. Why I death is all I want right now. So
But would you do it again?
for $2,000, yes.
Okay. So
Learning not
did
stress
you
it.
raise enough money to go to Vegas?
Oh yes, yes I
Okay.
did.
All
I
right.
have more than enough money to go to Vegas now. Bought the tickets yesterday. Already had my place set up. Everything's all good.
All right, cool.
Can't
Now,
wait.
those meetups can get a little crazy. I've
Yes.
been there. I've been to the Vegas one twice. No, actually 3 times, and they keep getting bigger.
Hmm.
And but it's so cool because you still get to mingle with certain people that in this little YouTube sphere that you get to
Hmm.
hang out with. And sometimes you only get to see them. You only see them on screen, and you chat with or in the chat, whatever, and you actually get to talk to them. So it's in person, and it's actually kind of neat. And they some of them remember you, and and I think it's really great. One advice, I don't know if you've been,
Hmm.
but one advice that I give to anyone whoever's going to go, either wear if you don't have a channel, wear your channel shirt, but if you don't have a channel, wear a name tag, what your tag is, because there's people that I wanted to talk to that I knew were going that I didn't know were there because you never see their face, right?
Hmm.
So it was a real bummer. So anyone out there, if you're not sure, if you don't have a YouTube channel and you don't have a channel shirt, wear a name tag.
Well, so I've gone to Matsuri the past 2 years, which those they became a meetup, I would say. That's like a meetup
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
creation aspect of it. And I've met a bunch of people there. Actually, one of my panelists, green-haired anti-liberal gal, as a lot of people know her. Actually, a lot of people in the sphere know her name. They just don't know who she is because she's friends with Ryan Kennel and everything like that. She's also my producer. We've met in person at Matsuri. One of my chatters who have actually two of my chatters I've actually met at Matsuri themselves. I don't know if you watch side scrollers, but the guy that goes by Kratos El Grados that likes to super chat like big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He met him. He's one of my guys I go to. I've met Nick Ricada, former mod, who's now one of my mods, C Hoodie or C Goody or whatever it is. So I've met a bunch of people already.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
cool.
I've actually streamed with Gary, Jay, Ryan, Jeremy knows who I am. Like all these people know who I am by my face, and I'm just excited to do this one. Like I'm getting around apparently, and I'm more popular than my YouTube makes it look like.
Well, you're
Is it
doing
popular
great.
or infamous?
I don't know. Maybe it's both.
Okay.
Well, you're doing really good. Because I do remember when you reached out to me for a logo for your channel. I think you were just getting started, and I think you came from. I think someone told you about me through just the
I
channels of like
was
Legion of Memers or something. I can't
Yes,
remember, but
it was Legion.
yeah. So you've grown quite a good here, and I think that's fantastic. It's always it's always good to see people exceed at whatever they do in this sphere, however they do it. So and that's why I appreciate when someone you don't really know about kind of grows up in the ranks and does a really good job. So so let's go ahead and say hi to some people in here. We've got Emotional, Unstable Amphibian. Good to see you. Howdy. And Jacob Ironside, he usually comes in with the jokes, so I'm not sure where he's not sending any. But and then we have Beard of Liberty says, howdy y'all. I've done fudged up and agreed to show tonight before I knew the time. It seems like everyone's off time today.
I mean,
You
that's
were
what
off
I
time
did.
today. Beard's off time today. A lot of people were just. I think maybe there's something in the air. Maybe there's something. It happened to me too. I was doing errands or driving around, and I was like, "Well, actually, I thought it was later than it should have been." So, whatever. All right.
It happens.
So, some people, when I said, "Hey, I have this gentleman coming on. His name is Dermy Wermy," they're like, what is that name from? Like, what is that? And unfortunately, I could not answer it because I don't think you've ever explained to me, anyways.
I haven't explained to you. I've explained to others. So what it is one, I'm not the brightest bulb in the bunch, and two, it was a joke between me and my friend. So I'm a little bit more open about this now. My birth name is Dermot.
Okay.
Like Dylan McDermott,
Yeah.
the Palpatine, Dermot Maroney, Young
Yeah.
Guns and stuff like that. My mom loved him and Young Guns, so I got named after him. So but people call me Derm for short, like family,
Okay.
friends, stuff like that. In my best friend's phone, he named me Dermy Wermy. So I just took that and made that my gamer name. Thing is, though, I'm illiterate and I spelled it with an E instead of an O. So ever since then, I just took it because it flowed very well.
I think it's a unique name. It rolls off the tongue very well,
Mhm.
and it's easy to remember. I think so. Good job, and now you got a cool logo for it.
Yeah, I have a very cool logo. I have 4 cool logos. Thank you so much.
Alrighty. So since we have a little special thing here where I have I call it the rapid 5 questions, and I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and you have to answer them. And you've done pretty good so far. So I'm going to give you these, and we'll go. So, do you cook? Do you cook your own meals?
Now and then, yeah.
Okay. What is the best dish you've ever cooked?
BLTs. Very
Like
simple.
legit?
Yeah.
Lettuce, bacon, and tomato, and what bread do you use?
When I need to start doing this again because I got on keto, I got off, I've put on weight. I need to get back on my diet, get back into the gym. But what I was using is a bread called Sola, which is a keto-friendly bread. It's barely any carbs in it, and it tasted amazing.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you put any mayo on it or
Yes.
mustard?
I usually put on avocado mayo.
Oh, okay.
Some
All right.
a little bit of avocado chipotle mayo, add some real cheddar cheese or something like that, sometimes some provolone or something like that. Then throw on lettuce, then the tomato. That way, the lettuce can hold that tomato right there. Because if you do it the other way around, the tomato can fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Then I pile that puppy on with bacon.
Okay.
That
Like,
is not. It's
what's a pile?
roughly, I would say, 6 full pieces of bacon broken and made into half, so it adds up to 12.
Okay. And do you make bacon for the whole week, or do you have like bacon set aside for this, or do you just?
I usually buy half pound of bacon, and I cook it all.
That's the way to do it, right? So it doesn't go
Yeah,
bad, right?
yeah.
Now, so the other question here I got for you is, what do you think is better, street smarts or book smarts?
Honestly, street smarts.
Okay.
Because being book smart, yes, you can get far in, like, corporate life and some of these, prestigious institutions, but just because you're book smart doesn't mean you have the street smarts, and I have no smarts, so
So you don't have either? You don't think you
yeah,
have
I
either?
don't have either.
Okay.
I'm shocked I'm almost 27 years old and I've made it this long.
Well, maybe you have YouTube smart. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's a new
Maybe
thing.
that is a thing. And if it is a thing, I don't know how I got it.
Well, I don't know. Some people are gifted on certain things, so maybe that's going on for you. All right. So, what is not a big deal to most people, but is a torture to you? Deep question.
So, I'm very nitpicky and I'm trying to think of something that, because there could be just so freaking many things that aren't a big deal to most people but are super big to me. I would say right now it's something that I'm struggling with is when I make my videos, I'm hearing myself breathe.
Yeah. Okay.
It might just be like I'll go like, "Hey everybody, what's going on?" And at the moment I hear that breath, it's grinding my gears to the point that I'm beforehand. I usually I can usually throw up my videos, do quick edits, cut out the beginning, cut out the end, put them up. Sometimes I do little other ones because maybe I coughed during my take or I fudge up a word and I immediately
Right.
fix it because I try to do it all in one big take.
Yeah.
So beforehand, I was going through it because it's driving me insane that I'm picking this up on my mic because I've been doing everything to fix it. I might just have to get a pop filter, but I'm sitting there like every single time just cutting that breath out because it's pissing me off. I hate jump cuts as well, but this breath is worth it. I will put my video filled with jump cuts if it means I can just get rid of this goddamn breath.
So one thing you could possibly do is try to breathe more through your nose and speak from your down here instead of like here. Then you won't always be like taking a
Hmm.
breath. Like singers,
Hmm.
they bring everything up from here. I don't know how you do it, but it just happens.
I
You're
don't
like
know.
you mentally think about, hey, like, and then you don't really have that every time because yeah.
Hmm.
No.
Maybe I'll do that. When I just did it right there. I don't.
See, you probably are mentally noticing it.
Mhm.
Other people don't hear it and while they're talking. And sometimes they're the best mics out there, the good mics usually cut it out. But yeah, I mean,
One of the things I got told is just get a pop filter because I'm using that Elgato like fancy one, but it doesn't come with a pop filter, so I might just break down and buy something to put on top of it.
oh yeah, there you go. You can get like a little fuzzy thing.
That's what I'm kind of thinking because I have one like you have, but with my arm, there's no place to attach it, and because I have to speak directly into the mic, I can't because you can't really hear me that well over here. So I have to
I
be.
heard you. You were good.
It's not as well. Like I can start how it is
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. All right. All right.
because it's one of those directional ones that right there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay. Um, if you were to go back in time and change history, would you? And what would you change?
You see, to have the power to go back in time and change history, as cool as that would be, I don't think I would do it.
Okay.
I've seen enough sci-fi movies to know that's a bad idea.
Yeah, the first time I saw Back to the Future and he did something where he changed something and it all went haywire, I said to myself, I probably won't do that if
As
I either.
tempting as it is, it's a bad idea.
But technically, if you do go back in time, you are technically changing something.
Not necessarily. This gets into actually something I've thought about a lot, because there's also, when it comes to time travel and things like that, you have different aspects of quantum physics. There's also the multiple reality theory that is. I know everybody hates like multiple realities and multiple dimensions
Multiple
and everything like
verses
that.
and
Yeah, everybody hates multiverse theory and stuff like that, but in actuality, it is more than likely that if you go back in time, you do create like this split timeline. So even though you come back to your present time, nothing really changed, but in another timeline, it changed. They did this in Dragon Ball Z. Time travel becomes very convoluted, and you have to be very specific with it and what the rules are.
have you ever seen the show, or mini series, 11/22/63,
No.
where it's based off a Stephen King novel? We actually reviewed the series over on After the Weekend in November, and it's about a guy who is tasked to go back in time and basically stop the assassination of JFK. However, when he goes back in time and say he carves something in a tree, right?
Mhm.
And he has to jump through a portal through like a door, it's like a closet. So he goes in there, cuts something into the tree, like carves his name, and then goes back through the portal. And he goes in present time, he goes out to that tree and he sees what he carved. Now, if he goes back through the portal, it resets everything back to the time that he comes through the portal, and it's always the same time he comes through. So I get, but he would have to not change anything and then like go back and forth. But it's always resetting if he goes back. But so no matter what he does, he will change
Hmm.
time. So yeah,
Well,
it's
also,
that's actually a really good book, and it's a really good miniseries. You can find it on Hulu. Like
I
I
want
said,
to check it out.
we reviewed it. It was fun.
Mhm.
It gets your brain thinking.
You also
Uh
have the aspects of time travel that come from Doctor Who, like fixed points in time. Do you really fudge around with that stuff? And then the whole thing, like, no matter how hard you try to fudge it, it's always gonna play out the same way. Stuff's always gonna happen,
yeah, yeah.
and it's
I,
dangerous to do anything like that. So,
it is. I'm glad someone has. Maybe someone has, but I'm glad there isn't isn't me who figured it out because I don't know what I would do. But it's something you don't really want to mess with. All right. Before we get to the next thing, which is the next question, how now did you say you wouldn't change history, right?
I
You said you
wouldn't
wouldn't.
change
Oh,
history.
okay. All right. So there's nothing you would change. Okay. Never mind.
I mean, I would change something if I knew it didn't have ramifications, but the potential ramifications, I think, outweigh the want to change something.
Okay. Well, makes sense. All right. So are you a now? This is the last one. This is kind of more serious than all the rest, and this has gotten a lot of people upset about it. Are you a pineapple on pizza guy?
God, no.
No. Okay. So you're a
No.
no. All right.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a sin. It's you have like the 10 commandments on there was actually an 11th commandment, but it actually like it broke the tablet by accident, but it specifically says thou shall not put pineapple on thy pizza.
Oh, okay. Have you ever tried it
Yes,
and you don't like it?
don't like it.
Okay, that's
It's a
fair enough.
sin.
Do you like pineapple?
Yeah, I like grilled pineapple with shrimp and stuff like
So
that.
you like pineapple, but don't like pineapple on your pizza?
No,
Okay. Well, I like it. So
it's flavors that aren't supposed to mesh. Sorry.
it's okay. By the way, um it's usually like 50-50 of the people who don't and do want it. Um but the last 5 people that I've asked, 4 have said no. So there
Well,
you go.
that's because they're following the rules.
They're not sinners.
That's right. Shame.
What's funny is most people think it was created by Hawaiians, and it wasn't. It was actually created by a Greek Canadian.
God damn it! I always knew it was the Greeks that we needed to be worried about. God, and a Greek Canadian on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Need to get rid of their race.
I actually did a full video with Tim's talk on this channel about the whole history of pineapple on pizza. Yeah, it was a Greek Canadian in like I think the 60s and or late 70s, something like that. And he decided to mix the savory with the sweet, kind of like sweet and sour chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he put
listen, you're combining Greeks, which I don't really think you should trust that much, but who knows? But with Canadians, god damn it!
Hey R2, good to
wait,
see you.
blame Canada.
Okay, we'll blame Canada. But yeah, there you go. It was a Greek Canadian that created it. All right, so tonight we're gonna go over some bad graphic design as well, and I'm excited to show these to you. These are pretty fun. I did reach out from some friends of yours, and I asked them, "Hey, would he find some of this some fun funny?" So they told me to.
Did you ask?
Oh, that's a secret. So, but get
I'm
ready.
Scared now. I'm scared.
Are you scared? Oh no! Seems like R2, my co-host over there after the weekend, have the stomach flu. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Get some Sprite or something like that and just relax.
Yeah,
Put your feet up.
That sucks because he called me earlier. He's like, I don't feel very good, and he thought it was just some something, and it was well, it is passing. I'm assuming, but not in the way that he thought. So I hope you feel better. I'm sorry, man. No one likes the stomach flus. No, I don't. So
I mean, I don't, but time away from work.
Oh,
and I can't
yeah.
stream.
Yeah, there you go. R2, take a few days off of work. End the week.
End the week out early. Make sure that your employers don't know about a YouTube channel or you're streaming or anything like that. You're good. I can't do that.
Oh, you can't tell okay. You're not.
They're subscribed and they got notifications on.
Okay. Well, I mean, hopefully they understand what you're doing and they like what they see. All right. So if you are feeling sick, this will be perfect for R2. This lady thinks you should get enjoy 7 inches every morning of orange juice.
My God.
And this is a real ad. Joan says, I enjoy 7 inches every morning.
You throw on the whole, you reached out to some of my friends, and now I'm just trying to figure out what friends did you reach out to? Because, yes, this is hilarious, and I'm terrified to know the rest. Jesus Christ, somebody thought this was a good idea.
And this is one of the worst ones, by the way. This is mid. I'll just say it that way.
Oh, my God.
Uh-oh, he's really having a hard time. Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
No, I think he's,
okay. Joan
inches.
is a whore.
I mean, come on. Well, I mean, no, she could always do better. 10 inches is usually what I do.
Dude, maybe she's married and that's her husband. Like, doesn't mean, I mean, she can still enjoy 7 inches.
She obviously settled.
No, she does have 2 kids down there. So
I guess the husband at least, but hey, at least he's probably part of the 777 club.
Most likely, yes. Yep, there you go. And make sure you get your 7 inches every morning of orange juice. Now, the next one here, I'm just gonna let you read it.
It's amazing what you can do with 2 fingers and a thumb.
This was a bowling alley ad. In a bowling alley. They had a lot of these posters out and about and in a magazine. So
my God, this is getting worse. I pray to God he's doing the shocker and not the snowman. By the way, screw as. I never needed to know that whole move. I never needed to know it.
That's gross.
And I reviewed Doctor Who, and I didn't even pick up on it. I'm paying $5 to say he specifically went out to look it up just to know what it is to ruin everybody's life.
Nice. Good job. Yep. It's amazing what you can do. 2 fingers and a thumb. At least she looks like she's having a good time.
Oh, yeah. Although he's kind of doing it backwards.
Or maybe he's not.
Oh, you're right. I mean, the back door is always the best door. God doesn't look back there. Remember, chat. God does not look back there.
Alrighty. Here's the next one. Are you really scared? This one might not be that bad.
Yes. I'm still a little terrified. My friends told you ran this by my friends. I'm terrified.
Oh, R2 says this is his move. Okay.
Oh.
I'm glad I
Good
know
for
that
you.
now.
Yeah, never turn your back to him.
This is a bus somewhere in Europe. I'm not sure what the sign says, but I'm pretty sure it says something about a university and Transformers.
I'm pretty sure it says something about university.
And I don't
no
think
idea
this
what
is.
the other
I don't think this is Europe. Actually, I think this might be somewhere in South America. I think it's like Universitas something.
No, it could still be. It could be Spain. So it
Oh
could
yeah,
be
you're
Europe.
right. It could be Spain. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
All we know is Russian or Ukrainian because you can't. That's just a bunch of squiggles. That's not real letters. That's just a bunch of squiggles.
True. Yeah, this it has something. It says something about university. What do you think it says? What do you want to take a guess at what he's smiling about?
He's smiling that he gets all the ladies, obviously.
Maybe he is kind of like all proud about it, right?
Yeah. He's having fun over at university.
All right. Well, here you go. Then here's the next one now. This one. Did you ever have an ice cream truck in your neighborhood when you were a kid?
Yeah. Yeah. Towards the end of my time living in town, we had an ice cream truck.
Did you make sure you were there every day or every week when it showed up?
Whenever I could.
Okay. What about a wiener wagon?
God damn. There's a picture of me going around because I shaved my beard when I hit 1K, and I don't look very child friendly. Actually, it might be. Nope, never mind. I don't have it. God dang it. I have a BRB scene that has one of my buddies put my face on a calf, and it has my my pedo stash, and pedo Dermy would probably be driving around to this, so stay away.
That mouse has a boner.
There's a mouse?
There's a mouse? Where? Are you that? How sick are you? I don't see it. Do you see a mouse?
I don't see a mouse. Did you show him Gator?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it's more than just the flu. I think he's having fever dreams right now.
Well, do you know Legion Talk over Ryan Legion Games?
Oh, that little bastard. Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of the people I asked. So.
Yeah. I'll remember
this. The bus guy looked like a bug mouse.
Bug mouse?
Oh, okay?
Wait.
Hold on, we'll go back.
Like a big mouse?
Maybe he's trying to say, oh, you must be really sick. Just watch the show.
Oh, I do kind of see, like, he kind of has, because of the little back lights up by his head, you could say that, oh my God, he has like Mickey Mouse ears that you just can't see. I guess I did.
R2. Maybe you should go back to sleep. Okay. He's got ear. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's what he's saying. Okay. Alrighty. This is the last one. This is like one of those pictures where it's like, what do you see? Do you see dancers? Or do you see something else?
I see Tifa. I ain't gonna lie, I see Tifa.
This is junior jazz dance class.
I didn't read the junior part, so now maybe I should shave off my beard again. God dang. God damn it, I'm more in line with all the weirdos now. Shit.
Wonder what R2's gonna
Guarantee
think
you
of
I
this
don't
one.
have creepy stuff on my PC. I guarantee you I'm not Vosh.
Do you hate your friends now?
Oh, I despise my friends more than ever before. And I will be I will definitely be remembering every aspect of this.
Good to know. Good to know. You can always share the stream and then let them know what I showed you. So
Yeah.
well, there you go. That's the bad graphic design for you. Unfortunately, that you are the last one that will see them, because I am changing up the channel where we're doing a little bit more mystery stuff, and that's kind of getting phased out. So I had a good time.
I feel honored. I feel honored. I feel blessed that I was the last one that ever got to see those amazing Tifas.
I saved you pretty much all the best ones for last there. Those were all the ones that I had that I was like, you know what? I've been waiting to save these for the right person, and you were it.
Yep, the dirty degenerate. And
Yeah.
I will be sending Ryan some very, very, very graphic messages.
Well, there was a couple other people.
Samuel?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought so. Maybe I'm curious about the other
He said you were pretty open to anything.
Almost anything. Thank you very much.
Yeah, junior
Keyword is almost.
Oh my goodness. Junior jizz dance group. Probably. Well, I'm good to see. I'm good you're still feeling a little better, R2, that you're able to continue chatting. So just a quick update. Like I said, the channel is kind of changing. I'm going towards like the mystery kind of stuff, and starting in March, I'm going to start doing a panel on whatever. It could be some crazy story like time travel. So if I do a panel on time travel, maybe I'll invite you and you can enjoy the conversation with us. I think that might be fun.
I mean, so it is fun because I'm a little bit more book smart than I let on. I do find the concepts of like some of these theoretical quantum physics and things like that actually interesting. The ideas of multiverses, time travel, things of that nature, and how they actually play out. I'm a partial sci-fi nerd, so obviously I kind of dig into that. And Doctor Who's is one of my favorite shows. So,
okay, all right. Why is Doctor Who one of your favorite shows?
The idea of a very optimistic man always traveling around in a box, doing adventures and bringing hope. And he also does it usually without ever having to harm anybody.
Oh, okay.
I'm not rarely actually harm somebody.
I think I've watched like one episode. I'm not a Doctor Who watcher, so I just like to see some of you all complain about it, because it's like everything else in the world. It seems everything just is going to the garbage can.
No, so well, all they had to do was put a chick in it and make it gay.
Like and South Park says.
Yeah. They did that twice.
They did.
They put a chick in it, made her gay, and then put a gay guy in it.
And you do a lot of YouTube videos on that subject, right? You reviewed all the. Did you actually watch the last season? Did you review the last season?
Yes. Okay, so I did all 60 specials. I wasn't going to, but then Jed, the Hollywood Scholar, said, "You know what? You're coming on a panel and you have no choice."
Jed's a good dude.
He is a good dude until he said that I had to suffer with Doctor Who with him. So I watched the entirety of the 60th special. I then watched the Christmas special, and then I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm reviewing this garbage. So I reviewed every single episode. I watched it 2 times each episode, and then I said I'm committed because I saw a massive growth on my channel. When this series comes back, I'm reviewing it again.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Is there another series that you plan on hate watching soon?
Fallout.
Okay.
Then there's going to be the Acolyte, which I mean, if nobody's reviewing if you're not reviewing the Acolyte right now, I don't know what you're doing. That's going to be amazing. It's definitely going to save Star Wars, and it's definitely going to confirm that Star Wars is 100% a comedy brand now.
Okay.
So then you have
Well,
something I
R2
am
says
looking forward to.
the
Yeah,
non-binary Doctor Who should really be called Doctor What?
that's true, but we don't have a non-binary Doctor Who yet. We have a gay Doctor Who, a
They're
black,
not. They
very gay
haven't
Doctor Who.
progressed as far yet.
Yes, not as far yet. But I am looking forward to House of the Dragon. I don't know if I'm going to review that though. I need something that I can just turn on and watch without having to put a lot of work and effort.
And you said
into it.
what did you say that was?
House of the Dragon.
Okay,
That's something
you
for
know what?
me.
Yeah, that was a fun
Mhm.
season 1.
Yeah, and because
And
I
that,
didn't review season 1 on my channel, I don't have to review it season 2, and I'm like, you know what? This is solely for me.
yeah, like
So,
before we get to the next thing, I was so bummed out about 7 and 8
mhm.
of Game of Thrones that I was a little hesitant on this one. But the first 2 episodes, I'm usually like a first or 2 or 3 episode guy. Like if I don't like it by the 3rd episode, I'm out. Like I'm never gonna watch it again.
Mhm.
And it just kept going, and I was like, this is great. So hopefully the
It
second
kept getting
season is the
better.
same way. So
I believe it will. I actually do because I've read parts of Game of Thrones when it came, but I was like actually interested in uh it was the Dance of Dragons storyline.
okay,
I actually did
yeah,
enjoy that book, and I like some of the ideas they did there. Like it's a history, it's a Targaryen civil war. It's actually really cool. So like you, I was like, I don't. They're gonna butcher it. They're gonna make it all bad, and then I see that those first few episodes, and it's like I'm gonna keep going,
yeah,
Now I'm very excited.
okay, yeah, I am too. Now I think they should make a movie out of the next topic we're going to cover. And again, everyone, welcome back to Late Night with Cap. I'm here with Dermy Wermy, and we are going to cover Rock Apes of Vietnam. And this is pretty cool. This is an interesting
Mhm.
story. People saw something over there in the Vietnam War, and we're going
They
to go
saw
over it. So
something.
yeah, so like I think they should, after we discuss this, I think it would be great if we try to pitch it as a movie. I think this would be interesting.
I
So
mean, it would. Have you seen Kong? Even though that was based off a book first and then became a movie.
I mean, I've seen
Not
King
Kong,
Kong.
not Kong. Congo.
Oh yeah, I've seen Congo.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one.
I could see Congo being in this. There was another movie that I always want to call it the Yeti, but I know that's not the correct thing. But I saw it on Sci-Fi. It's I want to say maybe 80s, maybe 90s style film. Could have been 2000s, honestly, like early 2000s film, where it's about this guy who's now crippled, has to go around in a wheelchair. He's taken away by his doctor for the weekend to go to this like lake house or something to relax. Because I'm remembering parts of it. I don't remember the entire story, but across the way, there's a house filled with very young and attractive females doing
Okay.
like all in college, doing this whole like, vacation kind of thing.
Right.
And then as the guy who he's stuck in the house, he can't do anything without the helper there. So he ends up looking outside and he starts seeing like something moving around there, and it's a Yeti. And it slowly picks people off one by one. And it's so creepy. And
Okay.
it is actually a really good movie. And they
Well,
did
if
some
you,
really cool effects.
I don't, I'm trying to think about it. Not sure if maybe I do know about it. I just don't remember. But yeah, if you ever find out what it is, send it to me. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's aware of the Vietnam American War, right? I'm sure we have
Mhm.
grandfathers, uncles, that were probably in it. I think it seems like most action stars in the 80s were also in the Vietnam War, like Magnum
Mhm.
PI and Miami Vice. And it it was a conflict over there, against the communist government in North Vietnam and Southern Vietnam. And I mean, most people know what this is, but they were
Yeah.
in these like thick jungles. Like, so jungles of Vietnam are dense, mysterious, and many, United States soldiers returned shaken. And, not just from the war. I mean, that makes sense, right? There was a lot of
Mhm.
horrible things that was going on over there. It was stories that weren't just the enemy, the Viet Cong, but some men were saying they saw some ape-like creatures. Now you would think, right? Like it's in the jungle. It's over there in Asia. There's other apes in like India and some other places over there in the world. You would think there'd be apes in Vietnam, but apparently there is no native ape within the borders in
Mhm.
Vietnam uh, and in the dense jungle over there. So when they were saying they were seeing apes, people were like, "What are you talking about?" So, I mean, I don't know how much you researched on this before you came on the show, but
So I read both those articles you sent me, and when I look at this thing, like, yes, at the time there weren't any like native apes. They do, I believe, have some form of like monkey-esque creature. I don't remember what it was called off the top of my head. I have one of the articles pulled up here,
yeah,
but
well,
that wasn't accounting for it. And then I think it was in one of the countries next to Vietnam. They did say, hey, later on they found like these three different species of orangutan, but this creature wasn't acting like an orangutan, so it couldn't have been an orangutan. So you're just sitting there going like, what the hell
yeah,
is this thing?
yeah, and you're right. They were known as rock apes. The stories about them came in the hundreds. So just from both sides,
Mhm.
U.S. soldiers and Viet Cong soldiers and the Southern Vietnam soldiers as well. So many ape stories came from the location, the specific location, and they called it Monkey Mountain, and I think it's pronounced Son Tre Peninsula, and so they called it Monkey Mountain, and all troops alike tales about being attacked by creatures that were human-like and had 5-inch long fangs, the ability to climb terrain, steep rocks with ease. And in Vietnam, they are referred to as jungle people. Do you think it could be like a maybe human, like a native person?
The thing is it's not out of the question, but I do think it's more of an animal of some sorts. Like, the concept of it being a human is possible, but I mean, this is Vietnam. How tall do they really get over there? Like
Well,
5
like
feet?
in South America, there's some people
Mhm.
who live on the Amazon River that
Yes.
they're still finding.
Yeah, and I
So
mean, I saw no, god dang, I had the name of the movie. It was the movie where they go to, like, protest logging and then get picked up by a remote Amazon tribe, and it's nothing but torture porn all the way through, and for some reason, I watched it twice and enjoyed both all my viewings of it, so there's that, but, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that there's a remote tribe of people out there.
mhm.
The problem that I come to is they have like, when I was reading it, they were 6 feet tall, they had bulbous, like, stomachs or protruding stomachs, all this stuff, but I don't see a human actually being able to do that. Moreover, I would see this being maybe some sort of actual creature that exists.
Yeah.
And
And they did describe them as having red hair, like and orangutans have red hair, ape-like features, and often their baby and had their babies with them. So if you ever been to the
Mhm,
zoo and you go to the monkey area, they always have their babies either on their
mhm.
shoulders, their back, their arm. They're always carrying them. They're kind of like humans in a way. And they said
So
they're about 6 feet tall with long limbs.
this is a sort of off topic, but a while like I do also look into like this cryptid stuff and all these weird occurrences, and I remember tales of what people would describe as Nephilim coming out of like the Middle East during some instances, like giant people that were actually there, but nobody ever like did a formal report or anything like that. And every time I heard about them, they always said like they had red hair, they were extremely tall, extremely strong, they had massive teeth, and were kind of more Neanderthalish. It could potentially be something more in line with that. Like these are just a remote, maybe not humans per se, but maybe something else that hasn't properly evolved yet that survived throughout the jungle and are solely in this area.
Yeah, and they haven't introduced themselves, right?
Mhm.
The one other crazy thing that the soldiers repeatedly said was they earned the Rock Apes name for was not for them living on rocks, however, because they were throwing them.
Mhm.
Usually, in response after rocks were first thrown, it was like soldiers would throw rocks at them, and then the primates would launch rocks back at the unexpected soldiers, earning their name Rock Apes. So I guess the soldiers were probably really. I mean, why would they shoot them? Right?
Well, because
They have
that was the
guns.
weird part about that was the weird part about all that, is why are you randomly throwing rocks at these things? And then in other, like, reports, they would be like, "Oh, we would be walking around, like, in the dusk time," because they would only come out, like, more in the afternoon and stuff is when they would see them at dusk or night, and you would immediately think that they were an opposing force. Why aren't you whipping that gun out, and why are you randomly throwing a rock at them?
Yeah, I don't.
And then why aren't you expecting them to throw a much bigger rock back at you and potentially hurt you?
Right, and I was thinking that too, and I was like wondering, like maybe was the Vietnam War. Uh, a lot of it was they were trying to not to let the other people know where they were, right? So maybe
Mhm.
gunfire would give away their location.
There's that. Another thing that I do know about is during the Vietnam War, they did implement all sorts of like crazy tactics as well.
Mhm.
I remember hearing about the story that America used to play like sound systems actually into the jungle late at night, in which it would scare the Viet Cong because they were using their superstitions to their advantage, and the
Mhm.
sound systems would be like this fallen soldiers and stuff, and they're trapped there because they died, so go flee and retreat and everything like that.
Right.
So it could have been something like that, just on the reverse. Like these were Viet Congs that were just going around trying to scare American troops.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can see that happening. I can maybe they
Mhm.
were wearing get up that made
Yeah.
them look that way. Intentionally, the apes didn't seem to fear humans. In most cases, soldiers were extremely close to the rock apes before they realized they were there. This was most often chalked up to the apes knowing that they could outpower humans or simply having a calm demeanor.
Hmm.
Used to the quiet jungle. Now, yes, if you come across a gorilla, you're not standing a chance as a human being against a gorilla, right?
True.
So I would, and an orangutan, they're just as strong. Um, Despite multiple detailed reports, no evidence shows that the apes exist. They never were able to capture them, shoot them, kill them, take one of them. Not even to Vietnam, no bodies were ever found, despite multiple accounts of the rock apes being killed, and no pictures were taken. Now, Vietnam War was a very uh, heavy
It was a
war
very
when,
unique war.
yeah, and there was a lot of photos, right?
Mhm.
And it was
It
like
was the
one of the
first
first
time.
they took pictures and
Yeah.
recorded things and sent it to America.
Mhm.
That's why a lot of people one of the reasons why a lot of people got upset about it because they were actually physically seeing what was happening overseas before they would just kind of get some reports, right? And maybe some photos. But why
Before
would
it was
they not
more.
take pictures?
That's the weird thing is why. So what I would say is a little conspiratorial here. Maybe they did take pictures, but the government didn't want them to be released. Maybe the Vietnamese government didn't want them to be released because who knows what.
Who knows? Yeah. And some people say
It is.
Bigfoot can't be taken picture of because he like is not photogenic. He just disappears.
Hmm,
He
there's
knows
that.
you. He knows that
It
you're taking a picture of him. But
well,
yeah,
it's
there was
also
so much being filmed over there. I'm surprised someone didn't capture
well,
something.
there's that, but also no bodies were ever found despite multiple accounts of rock apes being killed. So you killed them, but you never found their bodies. So what's going on there? Granted, I don't know if we got to it yet, but they do point out like the rock apes lived in like these weird groups and stuff. So maybe if one of them got killed, they carried them off.
There are photos out there of Vietnam soldiers holding like animals that they found out there,
Mhm.
but none of them were like this. So,
Definitely
uh,
not.
Now, the possible explanations, we've talked about some of them. One was a story about began reporting higher up. So, like when these stories came in, the higher ups on both sides were like, let's figure out what's going on. At first, the scientists believed soldiers were encountering orangutans, and there's one there. It's red, right? It's strong. It does have some teeth, but they're usually pretty. They are standoffish. They're usually want to be by themselves. And they were originally native to Vietnam, a long time ago, well before the war. So sometimes people say like animals are extinct; they don't live here anymore in a certain part of the world, and then all of a sudden they show up again. Maybe that happened. Maybe the orangutans came back.
Maybe, or like maybe they didn't get rid of them all, because like for a good example of this, like our oceans, we haven't even explored the vast majority
There's
of our
parts of
oceans.
jungles we haven't explored too.
Exactly.
So.
We find creatures all this freaking time. That's why the ideas of cryptids isn't that far fetched. I mean, we're like I pointed out in one of the two articles, they discovered 3 new species of orangutans in a neighboring country, in a neighboring area. So it's not so far fetched that orangutans do still live there. And on top of that, it's also not far fetched to say that orangutans, this species of orangutan, might interact differently than other species of orangutan.
Right.
Where this one might actually be more
aggressive.
Meh.
Well,
they weren't so aggressive.
Aggressive
they were
if they were attacked. Like this.
Yeah, there's that, but also more social dynamics, because that's the whole thing about this is orangutans are usually very lonesome, but maybe this particular species is more social and is willing to interact with one another.
And I believe gorillas are like that. I believe gorillas
Yes.
like to be very social, kind of like us. The other animal that was considered was a white-cheeked gibbon. So those aren't as big, but they are very long, and they do carry their infant pretty much everywhere. Maybe they saw that, but the size is never close to what they were describing. Now, I'm looking at it this way, and we'll get into this too, but if you've never seen an orangutan before, and they're kind of like crunched down, right? You've probably seen them at the zoo. Until they stand up, you really don't know how big they really are. You could think that thing was 6 feet tall if it was like far away, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, like that's a huge.
Though orangutans, like when you actually see them starting to do their stuff, they can look massive. They're where gorillas are like big and bulky. Orangutans, they have a weird shaped body, but you don't want to go anywhere near them, especially because they're powerful little guys.
Yeah, they are, and I always liked going them. There was the zoo in Phoenix, and they had a great exhibit where you could actually see them, doing their thing across the made jungle, and yeah, the way they stretched out their hands and kind of sat around, if you didn't know what you were looking at, you can definitely say that they were pretty big. Now,
and also orangutans are dangerous. I don't remember. It was a video. I don't remember who was playing the video or what stream it was, if I was on the stream or not, but this is some like third world country area where they were at a zoo. Some guy decided to go up to this orangutan and it just grabs his shirt, and those fuckers are strong because you can't pull yourself away. He almost died. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. Then I mean, any ape is pretty strong. Even chimpanzees are very strong animals. The stories were so prolific that in 1974, right after the war, the general of the Vietnam People's Army even ordered an expedition to capture and research the creatures. Nothing concrete was ever found. Years prior, a Vietnamese professor performed a study, even finding a non-human footprints, and that's an example of a footprint there in cement. I don't know if that's real, like that would be a real foot of the beast, but you tend to see a lot of these, right, when they talk about Bigfoot or some type of cryptid thing.
How many times on like the History Channel, for example, Finding Bigfoot, they found a Bigfoot foot, and it's always you can barely ever tell that it's a foot. At least this time you can kind of
see something. And even on this channel where we do some. We have talked about Bigfoot almost every stream. Is that some people have thought they have got something like that, and there's always pictures. Now this is where a lot of I was talking about where like a soldier's life over there probably impacted what they saw. Other explanations are chalked up to soldiers hallucinating, either from marijuana or other drugs, which was common during Vietnam War, or extreme conditions, including heat and stress. So if you're high on something, it's humid as heck over there, and you're exhausted because you haven't slept for a few days because you don't want to die, and you saw an orangutan, you would probably think that was something different, right? A beast, something.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, all those things combining together could legitimately just lead to all sorts of sort of issues. Trauma from the war, just mental illness caused by said trauma. Moving on, the marijuana that people have been ingest due to all this dehydration,
Right.
stress, all this, and you see something that you're not used to, you could think this is a monster of some sort.
Yeah. Finally, it's thought that the rock apes are humanoid creatures that are native to the jungle over there, only becoming visible when otherwise inhabited areas were flooded with soldiers. As to why they have yet to be discovered, locals say they avoid Vietnam jungles to this day, with knowing that there are thousands of live landmines out there that could be triggered. So they can't even go exploring for these things to find out if they're really real, because there's so much debris or old mines from the war.
I mean, Tropic Thunder has a wonderful scene depicting that.
It does.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Back to the point of like, hey, not just like it's dangerous to go hunt this down. And if you don't know something is something, it's a weird way to word that, but your brain immediately assumes it's like maybe a monster of some sort. And I think it was there was a story from, I want to say it was either Japan or China, of this massive like skull that they thought was, I believe, a dragon for years and years and years, tucked away in the back of a old temple. And then later on, people came and actually took a look at it, and it turned out it used to be a elephant that was actually native to said land.
Right, and a lot of people thought elephant skulls were cyclopses because they have the big nostril in them. And you're right. Like if you don't, usually humans, if we don't understand something right away, we immediately go to the fantasy world, right, or some supernatural thing, right? So I think that's one thing we do. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would honestly agree, like hands down, because one of the big things that we got dragons from was people were discovering dinosaur fossils and things like that, and they immediately thought these were giant fire breathing beasts that were all over the place and stuff of that nature. You have all sorts of just things like, hey, you don't fully understand this, so you find a supernatural element to try to steer people away from it or try to explain it. Sometimes it's for the better, because I might be a religious man, but I do believe that some of the things they taught in the Bible was tales because to avoid doing certain things, because we didn't have cures for it. You knew it was going to be bad for you, so you avoid doing it. Like a good aspect of this is, I think, still it's practiced within Judaism or whatever the heck it's properly called. Don't eat shellfish, because it was said in there, like the Torah or whatever it was. But the whole thought process of that is don't eat shellfish and don't eat pork. Those were dirty animals and stuff. And the reason is they didn't have proper ways to clean it or prepare that food. So if they ate it, they would get sick.
Right. And another example of that is tomatoes. I have another video of that too. Like people used to not eat tomatoes because the acidic acid on a tomato would take the lead from the lead plates and then poison you. So if you ate, and some people got real sick like right away from it, they would get lead poisoning. So, and then for the longest time, people said, "Don't eat tomatoes; they're poisonous." So the mind of a human can explain all kinds of things on why things happen, and there is science, but sometimes science gets wrong too. So yes, people, sometimes science gets things wrong.
Well, that's the whole. Well, that's the whole point of science, is being proven wrong. To
Right.
challenge things, like do stuff like that, and it's not
Well,
to follow orthodoxy or believe the science.
well, to wrap up the rock apes, it sounds like you think they were just more of some ape creature.
Yeah, I think they're more of some ape creature in this aspect. Again, I like researching cryptids. I like looking into these things because there's always like really cool things that you can find, even throughout America, like really unique stories tucked
Mhm.
away, urban legends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like here in Kansas, there was like two different stories of like massive worms,
Wow.
like massive, like
Like tremors?
yeah, trimmers, or I'm gonna say like trimmers meets dune sandworms. Like these were
Okay.
behemoth style worms. So there's stories of that. There's all sorts of like unique little creatures all throughout the thing out this world that I do find unique. Some of them I do believe in. Bigfoot, like
All right.
semi believe in the Loch Ness monster, creatures like that. There's all sorts of stuff like that.
Very
This,
cool. Well,
however, I think there's just not enough there for me to actually say, hey, there's something here. I think it's maybe just an everyday ape that people were just misunderstanding what it truly was.
right. And I think that's probably what happened. Again, I
Mm.
appreciate you discussing it with me. This has been great. Now, if you do want to find Bigfoot, there's a guy out there that's hiring human bait. So we'll end the segment with that. So yeah,
I'll send him Cloud.
you can volunteer a position for a Bigfoot research project this fall in Texas. Safety not guaranteed. Must have strong work ethic and camping skills. So, and if you want to apply, people, it's humanbait.com. Human-bait.com. Sorry.
Well then, to be honest, I don't think it's gonna work, but who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Now, we're coming up on the hour here, and we're gonna wrap it up. Because you said you have something else going on tonight. You're a busy man.
Yes, I'll also be over at the midweek hump, which they've already started, but I already told them I'm gonna be late. So
Well,
there's that.
I'm well. Real Way says we're
Hey,
cool.
real
We're
wave.
awesome. So
Aw.
yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So besides
Mhm.
that show that you got going on, and your Friday, so you got your Friday show coming up as well. So
Yes,
and
Friday Ballbusters, we have blanking on his name. You have one of their logos behind you, Salty Nerd. Matthew Kadish will actually be coming on.
okay, very cool.
So
Yes,
mhm,
good group of guys over there. That Salty Nerd. They were
mhm.
one of my. I guess you could say they when I was first getting into the YouTube world, like they were like one of the first ones I came across. So I've always been a fan of them. So yeah. Um. So okay, it's cool. So you got your Friday show and then your Tuesday show as well, right?
Then yes, then also Saturdays I've been starting up something because I used to do a bunch of other people's shows on Saturdays, not focusing on my channel. So I've kind of stepped back from doing a lot of other people's shows that much. I'll go on them every so often, but Saturdays now I've been doing what is called Saturday Chatterday. So if you have access to my Discord, what I'll do is like at about 7 p.m. I turn on a stream. I start playing like Final Fantasy 7 or something like that right now, and we're sitting in my Discord and just chilling and chatting for like
Yeah,
10
playing
hours
games. Wow.
playing games, chilling out, relaxing, and just going. It's more like a random stream, kind of like what those Twitch streamer guys do, and they complain about, doing all the time. But I actually do it, and it's something. Yeah, if I could do every single day, I would,
Yeah, and they
because
can
it's just
find
relaxing.
your link to your Discord on your Twitter or just on your channel.
So the link on my Discord is on my channel. One of the aspects to get into the Discord is it's phone lock, so you have to have your you know, you have to have that all figured out. Usually the links kind of start dropping. I think it's on almost all my videos is the link to my Discord. On top of that, when I'm doing streams or stuff, I have my stream elements dropping that link over and over
Okay.
again. If you want to come join, phone verify, get in there, then
Yeah.
Saturdays we just chill. We also do movie nights on Saturdays. So
Awesome. Well, that's great. I wish you the best on your channel. And this has been fun.
oh,
This
I
has been a
think
fun night. I'm glad we eventually got to chat
Mhm.
about the wonderful bad graphic design and
No,
rock apes.
I will definitely be sending Samuel back to the void and sending Ryan a very strongly worded message.
All right. Is there anything you want to tell the people who are watching this or watching this later? Is there anything you want to, any advice you want to end off before we end the show?
Actually, I do because Shagsworth, good guy. He a while back he started talking about like some of the things he promotes on his channel, like just something humans should probably do. And he promotes family values, being a good dad, being a good focusing on your family. And it got me thinking, what do I want to promote on my channel and stuff like that? I want you guys to always remember find a way to have fun.
Yeah, I like
Always
that.
find a way to have fun. Our world is filled with just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. We have people constantly going out there screaming about Civil War or World War III. And even with all that going on, you always need to find a way to step back and just realize you're the most important person there. Your family's important and find a way to have fun.
I like that. That's a good one.
Mm,
You know what?
Yeah.
That deserves the original cap dance. Well, there you go, everyone. Thanks for coming by, and if you're watching later, thanks for watching. And Dermy, it's been great. I will see you around. And
I will
thank.
see you around, sir.
All right, see you later, everyone. Have a good night. Have a good rest of the week, and make sure to hit the like and subscribe if you're new. I'll check you later.